today's lesson is all about the opportunity of monetizing through a niche community. So what you're about to hear is a coaching call between myself and Amika Ali, who's building some pretty cool products for new moms. Now, you'll love this because at the beginning of the call, Amika and I jump right into talking about business model. So how are you feeling about your business model?
Yeah. Have one of those. I was like, okay, this is a danger zone model for sure.
What were you thinking about?
It's a pregnancy app, baby and mom developmental information, and then kind of incorporate what you did, where each week, as you're going through your pregnancy, you always have all these needs. Oh, now I need a pregnancy pillow because I'm starting to feel this way.
Right.
Or I need to start getting a belly belt. And all these different kind of products that you just need throughout your pregnancy. So I was like, well, that's how I can monetize it. But then I saw the danger zone model, and I'm like, well, that would probably be a low margin type of app because I would just be getting transaction fees of all the affiliate sales from the links. So I'm not really sure which Give Me Money model is going to work for me.
So Amika's not sure what business model to go after. And to help her, I asked her some questions about how a user might use her app.
They'll be able to upload their belly bumps every week and then do like stickers and stuff like that, and decorate it. Like I'm 29 weeks, so baby's due in June or whatever. And possibly I could have a community aspect. My only skepticism about that is because there's so much, when you're pregnant, there's so many types of just offline communities, whether you're hooking up with moms and girlfriends that are pregnant too, or people just go online and read all kind of forums because there's baby center and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure if that would be a viable option where people would want to pay and be a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure about that, but I really want to do some type of pregnancy emoji.
Yep, you heard that right. We are talking about emojis now. The conversation has steered in the direction of emojis. And so we start to have this fun conversation, but not only talking about emojis, but also talking about the feedback that Amika has gotten from her survey on her website, because people have been visiting her website and signing up for her app, and they've been telling her some interesting things about what they would like to see. So we start talking about the feedback she's getting from her survey and also monetizing from emojis and selling products.
In my surveys, I've been getting a lot of feedback, building my 100 list, and people are like, hey, you should do something postpartum. That does not exist at all. That could differentiate my emojis. So I was thinking that I could have the option to sell the emojis within the app, and that could be an in-app purchase, in addition to just having them have that as a pregnancy standalone emoji app just in the Apple or Android marketplace. I figure I can monetize between the emojis and somehow selling all these products, because when you're pregnant, like I'm pregnant right now, when you want stuff, you want it. So I know it'll sell.
My advice to Amika is pretty simple here. Back away from the emojis and let's hold off for a second on selling products. And I explain why. Okay. Emojis put you in a danger zone because people will only pay so much for an emoji. And I've bought emojis before, but it's still not for a crazy amount. Now, can your app have emojis? Yes. Is that the main drawing point? Not if you want to make a lot of money in an easy way, right? Okay. Same thing for the products, just like you said, right? It's low margin. I'm not saying you can't do it, but those are both really good things, particularly the products, really good things to introduce once this is taken off and you've got, tens of thousands of customers, right? Then selling the products makes sense because, yeah, it's low margin, but we've got so many customers that it works. So what we need to do now is pivot this, right? Figure out how we can get out of the danger zone business model and into a give me money business model, right? the conversation starts to organically drift into the area of communities. We start to talk about what it looks like to build premium communities. Not just the kind of forums that you can find online, but places that people will pay for to be a part of. Communities for pregnant new moms, and also premium communities for women in postpartum. We start to talk about niches and niches of niches, how to get really specific, because the key to building and monetizing a premium community is going really specific and niche in who you serve.
Type of like a Facebook type of app.
Yes, but I could see someone paying $50 a month, even like if you have other things that come with it, or in-person events or whatever it might be. I could see you having $100 a month for people who a higher price point for that kind of community.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay, because it could be like a monthly subscription fee for having access to that community.
Yeah.
Information.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think you'll have to figure out what they call them content events. What the content events are going to need to be in order for it to be valuable for someone. Is it, a therapist coming in and talking about tips weekly and you can log on? Is it, a weekly in-person event? Like, what is it that comes with the community to make it premium such that people will pay?
That we need to make this a premium community because, you can easily just go to babycenter.com or talk to your girlfriend or your auntie or, or people just wait and go to their gynecologist to get info, or there's all kind of like little Facebook groups, where people ask questions, but some people know what they're talking about and other people don't, and everybody's pregnancy is different, but since, if I want to incorporate the sell high, see, my thing is, I'm kind of a different mama, I already know, because I'm in a lot of these groups, because I'm vegan.
Yes.
And like, there's not a lot for that. But in addition to that, like, I'm very particular about what I put on my kids. Like, I only want 100% cotton baby bumpers and sheets, and like, I was so anal with my son. Like, I don't want any polyester, and I don't want this and that. So that is very niche. And
that's your niche.
There are moms who are willing. Like, I was like, well, I'm paying too much. I'm paying $300 for my bedding instead of $89.99 because I don't want polyester.
Yes.
I only want 100% cotton. So I know that there's moms out there in a community like that. So maybe that's the kind of premium community I could create, and then that's how I could get those high value items to sell.
Yes. Yes.
Possibly. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. And I think that, the next step of the work is to go put this in front of people and see if they bite. But yes. The vegan is a really good niche. How would you describe the niche of like being sensitive around like fabrics or things like that? Like, what would you call that niche? Okay, so maybe we're still figuring out all the details of the niche, but the point is that Amika has zeroed in on a couple niche communities. Communities of people who are vegan, communities of people who are sensitive about certain fabrics, and not only is this a niche that she knows about, but it's also a niche that has demonstrated as a community that they're willing to pay a little bit more for the preferences that they have. And so it's a good community to pursue and to test with and see if they would also be willing to have a community around those preferences that they have as moms. So then we start to talk about tactics as we close out the call.
Okay. So then that's more like, in the interim of getting this 25% project off the ground, this will be more like my MVP then?
Well, you're going to have a 25% project or an app hack. I use those terms interchangeably for before you get to your MVP. So,
right. So how would I pitch my 25% then?
Great.
If I were to just start pounding the pavement now.
The way you're going to build your app hack is by using Mighty Bell, the tool called Mighty Bell. It's mightybell.com. Okay. And you'll launch your community for people.
Okay, so use Mighty Bell. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so now it's your turn. I've got a little bit of homework for you to do. Yes, I'm talking to you now. We're talking about what you need to do after listening to this phone call. So I want you to go into the community and do two things. First, share a little bit of thought around what kind of niche community, premium niche community, you could create that people would pay, let's say, $100 for. What kind of community around your app idea could you create? And then as a second part of your assignment, share on a scale of 1 to 5 how likely you are to pursue the niche community route in terms of monetizing and creating a business model around your app. You don't have to use all of these options. You're probably going to pick one of all the ones that we talk about this week. But I'd like to hear, just for a moment, you entertain the idea of creating a community and think it through so that you can vet it and see if it's a good option for you. All right, go ahead and do that homework. Jump in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.